I think that we are good. I hope that we are good. Thank you everyone for coming on here. Hey players, for those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. So ran into a lot of technical issues on this live stream. Definitely a lot of issues where OBS wasn't working and stuff, but we're starting off this new year, of course, with a lot of technical issues, but we're here to talk about 5 ways to build your inner confidence so that you can that can lead to massive success. This is something that's taken me years to kind of become comfortable with, get into the mindset for, figure out how to do. And it's something that I want each and every single one of you to prioritize in your life to figure out. But before we get into all that, I want to give shout outs to the early birds in the chat. Those are the people that are on here in the live stream, jumping on here. So if you want your shout out, just say hey and I will shout you out. Let me pop out the chat here. I have a whole bunch of things set up in OBS so that I can show the chat and stuff, but none of that's really working that well right now. So we're gonna hold on that for now. But we'll see what I can actually get done. Anyway, thank you guys for jumping on here. I want to give shout outs to everyone. Ben Stafford, thank you so much for being in here. Dono the Gamer, always a pleasure to see you, my man. Phoenix is in here. Marcos, Games and Reviews, The Life of DeMarco, JQQY, Emmanuel Pimentel, Pencil's in here. Joshua Garcia, Nasir Winfred. I do not exist because I don't know. Benji's in here. Cheesy Boy, King So Smooth, The Purple Apple, Brady Albert, Deirdre Peterson, Naja Williams. I said that already. I don't exist. General Tyler, Sansa Skeleton, James Cooper, Benji Leon Ginger, Games and Reviews, Lyrical Michael. What is up, everyone? If you haven't already hit the thumbs up on this video, those are going to definitely help the video get seen by more people. It's going to put it out there, and it's going to show the YouTube algorithm that this is an important topic to talk about. So as we kind of jump into these different types of topics, I want to kind of walk you through, Deirdre Peterson is Emma. I want to kind of walk you through why I think building your inner confidence is important. You see, you're going to encounter different situations in life where people are going to challenge you. People are going to push you to the edge of your comfort zone. People are going to make you feel like you're not good enough. Now, as much as we talk about being kind and compassionate and towards others, that's not everyone's priority. That's not everyone's goal. There are people that are going to kind of test you. And sometimes they mean to do it in a mean way, and then other times people just will test you in a normal, everyday kind of conversation way. A good example of that is your crush being centered around all of their friends and you wanting to talk to them, but you feeling that sense of worry or nervousness stem up because you're afraid that the friends are going to make fun of you, or you may not have anything to talk about with your crush, or you may just totally blow the whole situation. So those situations are where inner confidence matter the most, where you find that you want to challenge yourself and push yourself, but you don't really know how to go about doing that. So I want to jump in here, guys, and talk about the different things that it takes to build that inner confidence. So we're going to go to the first point here. The first point, what you need to build that inner confidence is going to be practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude for what you have is going to allow you to kind of really focus on the things that you have in your arsenal, the things that are surrounding you, the things that are empowering you to do what you really want to do. Now, I've talked about gratitude in the past, and for those of you that understand it to some degree, but don't really fully get what it means to be grateful and how to practice gratitude, here's what I would say. When it comes to practicing gratitude, the easiest way to go about doing that is to just stop for a second and to just think to yourself, what are the things that I have around me? I have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my body. I have food in the refrigerator that I can eat. I have parents or siblings or close friends or people that I know that care about me and support me. I have the ability to kind of, ask my teacher for help when I need to. I have, all these different things. I have a video game system. I have internet. I can watch this live stream. So that's kind of the thing I want you to really focus on when it comes to practicing that sense of gratitude. Even in the simplest sense, you're alive. Being alive is one of the greatest things that you can ask for, right? Because being alive means that you have now the opportunity to move forward in life, to try new things, to take chances. And I think that's the most important piece when it comes to being grateful. It's recognizing that with every breath of life, you now have the opportunity to do something, to take a chance. So that's something I really want you guys to focus on. When we talk about building that inner confidence, practicing gratitude daily is going to help you kind of really feel confident in who you are. Because in those moments where you feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not educated enough, whatever it may be, you can always default back to, yes, maybe I don't have those things in my life, but I have a good family, but I have friends, but I have a roof over my head, but I'm alive. And I think that for myself growing up, going back to those moments of gratitude, going back and looking at the things that I feel have helped shape me into what I am and the things I have access to, allow me to realize and put things in perspective, that in those moments where you are struggling and you're pushing yourself and it's scary, there's always something to fall back on. There's always something you can look at and say, wow, I'm happy that I have those things. So I want to ask you guys this. When it comes to practicing gratitude, when it comes to thinking about, the things that you have in your life or the people that you have in your life, is practicing gratitude something that you regularly do? Sometimes for some people it is, sometimes it doesn't. So I want to do a quick chat poll here. I want you guys to answer in the chat here. You can write yes or no. For those of you that are channel members, you can use the yes or no emojis for this. But I want to ask you guys that simple question. Is gratitude something that you practice? And it's okay if you don't. I think it's something that it's good to start incorporating, especially as we head into this new year. Practicing gratitude is definitely a skill that a lot of people should start incorporating more into their day-to-day life. But I'm curious to know where you guys stand. Practicing gratitude is something I try to do every single day. I feel like it helps me grow my confidence and helps instill that level of confidence for me. And I want to know where you guys stand on that as well. So looking at the chat poll here, King So Smooth says yes. Gavin says yes. Davin says, I love these new visuals on the screen. Thank you, Dono. I'm still setting things up here, but this is kind of where I am for now. Looking at what you guys are saying here, Brady says yes. Emmanuel says nope. Dono says yes. Michael says no. Yelsha says no, not really. Bryant says no. JQQ says no. Purple Apple says yes. Benji says yes. Garrett says yes. I see a no. Cheesy says yeah, bro, all the time. You're on it, Cheesy. Emma says, yep, I do it all the time. Limited False says, what is my name? My name is The Josh Speaks. My name, Josh, is written everywhere, I think. So I'm seeing no. I see, a bunch of yeses in there too. Yep. So it seems like there's a mix of people that, do practice gratitude and don't practice gratitude. And like I said, when it comes to building that inner confidence, practicing gratitude daily is going to really help you start to figure out what it's going to take for you to kind of be comfortable and confident in those situations. Because when you feel like you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, or you don't have what it takes, being able to default back to gratitude is what's going to help you get through that. So thank you guys for all the compliments on the new look and the new stuff. This is what I was testing on OBS. I am using my webcam here instead of my DSLR camera that I have set up, but that's totally fine. We're going to roll with that for this stream. Let me lower the mic a little bit here. But what I do want to do is jump into the second point here. I know that I started a little late, so I'm going to try to get through these points. I want to definitely answer some of you guys' questions, see what you have to say. So when it comes to the second point here, the second way to build your inner confidence, that is going to be to surround yourself with a supportive network. This is key to your development. Trust me on this, guys. If you're surrounded by negative people, if you're surrounded by people that doubt your abilities, that put you down, that don't believe in you, that tell you you're not going to succeed, well, guess what? That's going to shoot your confidence down. It's going to make you feel like you are not good enough. You won't succeed. Other people are determining your fate and what you can accomplish. And that's not how we're going to roll around here. I think it's important to really be in the company of people that care about you, that really want to see you succeed, that really want to see you grow. One question that I think is important to ask yourself, especially as we start this new year, is this. The friends that I have, the people that I surround myself with, if I just met them today, would they still be my friends? Do we still have the same kind of goals in line? Do we still have the same kind of vision in life? Do we still want to succeed in the same kind of way? Do we still care about other people? Or are they my friends just because they've always been my friends? I've known them since middle school. I've known them since high school. I've known them forever. That's why they're my friends. It's important to reevaluate the people that you keep in your life, because sometimes You may find yourself with someone toxic in your life that's there because you feel bad letting them go. You feel bad disconnecting from them. And all the while, they're bringing down your confidence. They're making you feel small. They're making you feel like you don't matter. I think that cutting out negative people is something that we can practice and do, and it's going to allow us to focus more on building our confidence, because what you're doing is you're getting rid of that weight. Now, when it comes to cutting people out, does it have to be a negative process? Does it have to be bad? Do you have to be mean? No, I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's totally possible to let people go from your life in a kind way. And the way to do that is this. There's nothing wrong with deciding for yourself, hey, I want that person to succeed. I want that person to grow. I want them to figure out their own path in life, but our paths aren't on the same. They aren't in the same direction. It's important to ask yourself that. And if you come to that conclusion, it's important to say, I can let them go, and I won't sit there with the burden or a level of anger or annoyance that they were there. They served their purpose in being your friend, and now you've kind of outgrown them. So the moment that you can outgrow the negative people in your life, you're going to allow your inner confidence to start to flourish, because you're going to start to see that the people you are around do care about you. They do like the ideas you have to share. They're going to encourage you to go after what you want. So, and when we talk about letting go of the negative people in your life, this is something that I talk a lot about in my book, Embracing the Awkward. So I'm going to put that up here so you guys can see. So some of you know, some of you don't know, I wrote a self-help book called Embracing the Awkward. And the purpose of this book was to help you kind of navigate these different situations in your life when you have to let go of negative people, when you want to work on building your confidence. So it's something I really tackle in that book. If you're interested, check it out. It's available on Amazon and on the internet in different places. It's also in Barnes & Noble. So if you have a Barnes & Nobles near you, you can check it out. But the link is right there, thejoshspeaks.com/awkward, if you're interested in checking out the book. It is something I did want to mention as we talk about letting go of negative people, because in the book, I talk about myself being surrounded by friends and the kind of people that helped me grow into the person that I am, and that's what helped me build that inner confidence. So I want to jump into the chat, and I want to see what some of you guys are saying here. I want to just get some of your feedback, see what kind of questions you guys have on your mind. Looking through the chat here, Phoenix says, agreed. Get rid of the toxic people who shoot down your dreams and aspirations. I agree, Phoenix. It's important to let those people go, because if they're not rising with you, they're only holding you down. Let's see. Tall Man Dan says, you're right, man, but how do I do it? That's a good question. How do you let go of those negative people? There's always a fear sometimes that by telling someone you don't really want to be friends with them anymore, you don't really want to interact with them, that they'll get upset with you, that they'll get angry with you. That's always a real fear, that you don't want to make things awkward or weird. But you have to ask yourself this: what are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing your own sense of self and well-being, or are you prioritizing what they want? Are you putting their needs ahead of yours? And look, there are times where it makes sense to kind of take other people's needs into consideration, but if their need to be in your life, to talk to you, to interact with you, is going to make you feel small, then there's nothing wrong with telling them flat out, listen, I don't really feel like we connect anymore. I don't really feel like we vibe anymore. And then if they ask you to hang out or they want to spend time with you, you can just give them basic kind of excuses. Hey, I'm busy. I don't think I'll be able to make it, until eventually they kind of drift off and go on their own path. You're not responsible for other people being comfortable with you letting them go. That's their responsibility, not yours. So don't take on the burden of having to let other people go and then making sure they're okay and making sure that they can move on. That's something they have to figure out. That's a road they have to walk on. So we're going to take a quick second here for a water break. And we have new emojis in here, guys, that Dono has set up. So kindly set up. One of them is me drinking water, which is, it's very fitting. But those are in here. I'm so proud to have such an awesome community that creates such cool things. All right, I want to see what some more of you guys are saying. Harry Supo is saying, so Josh, a situation happened. Me and my best friend's sister are going out. She's 17 and I'm 13. Is there anything wrong with this? Also, my best friend is fine with it. So you and your best friend's sister are going out. She's 17 and you're 13. Is there anything wrong with this? Here's what I would say, Harry. I think that that's a major age difference. And the reason why it's a major age difference is one, because in a year she's going to be 18 and it'll be illegal for the two of you to date. But beyond that, I think that she's entering a stage of her life where she's getting ready to leave high school and go into college and kind of maybe figure out a job. And she's entering that stage of her life where she's about to move more into the real world. And I think for you who's 13, you're in a different stage, man. Like I believe, Harry, you told me that you are in I believe you told me that you're in high school. You're starting high school, I think. And for someone who's starting high school to be dating someone that's starting college, it's a massive difference in life. And I think that the best thing for the two of you to do is to probably remain friends, but to not pursue a relationship. Because I think it's going to be difficult to maintain that relationship, not to mention the fact that, the fact that she's almost 18, and that's going to create a whole nother slew of problems. Yancey asked, "Hey Josh, what do I do when the kids and some teachers in my class make fun of me?" That's an interesting point, Yancey. I think that there's two pieces to that. If the kids are making fun of you, there's one way to handle that. If the teachers are making fun of you, there's another way to handle that too. When it comes to the kids making fun of you, one thing you have to remember is this. It's that people who are happy and content in their lives see no reason to bring other people down, right? If you're happy, you want to flourish and you want others to flourish. But it's only when people feel the need to pick at others, make fun of them, attack them, that they're just showing that they're not in a good place in their life. A lot of times what you're going to see, Yancey, is that kids will make fun of other kids because they lack self-esteem themselves. That's why they do it, right? Like when we talk about building inner confidence here on the stream, really, it's like those are the kids that really need to work on building that inner confidence, because when you have that sense of inner confidence, you believe in yourself. You know the value you offer. You know the effect you have on other people. And you don't want to take a road where you want to hurt others. And Yancey, I think that's what these kids are trying to do. So try to take it from that perspective. The next time one of these kids says something mean to you, just immediately realize, wow, man, that kid must not be in a good place if he's willing to make fun of me. He's not in a good place in his life. Now, when it comes to the teachers saying mean things or making fun of you, that's definitely something that you should talk to your parents about. You can talk to other people, other staff in the school about. Teachers should never be making comments like that about children, especially their students. So definitely let anyone know, because I think that there's a power dynamic between you and the teacher. If you were to confront the teacher has the upper hand, has the power. So you might feel helpless in that situation. So the next best thing really is to talk to someone else, talk to another teacher, talk to a principal, talk to your parents who has that equal footing of power with the teacher. So that the teacher can stop doing what they're doing. I'm going to answer one more question, then I'm going to move into the next point here, guys. Marco says, "Josh, I have a crush on a certain girl who likes bad kids who are popular, but I'm both not popular and not bad or good looking. Also, the mean kids are good looking. I don't know how to talk to her." Okay, so your crush likes bad boys, right? The bad boys tend to be good looking, tend to look cool, tend to be cool. If you try to get into a style war with someone who is following all the latest trends or is trying to look cool, you're going to lose, right? It's a losing battle because these people tend to pride themselves on their looks, and that's what they really, really value. And I think at the end of the day, that only goes so far. So while your crush may like the cool kids or the kids who dress cool or the bad boys and stuff, there's a lack of depth, I think, in those personas, because they're pursuing entertainment, they're pursuing attention. And I think what you want to do is, instead of trying to do whatever you can to grab attention, trying to make crazy comments or do bad things, instead of taking that road, the best thing for you to do is to put your personality on display. Now, look, you don't have to be the most good-looking person in the world. I think ultimately what it comes down to is this. If you were to approach your crush and approach with a sense of confidence in this type of way, you walk up to them, you say hi, you ask them how they're doing, you learn a little bit about their hobbies, you share a little bit about your personality, you joke with them, you flirt with them, you invite them to hang out, you take that road. You show them that you're willing to get to know them better, then they're going to start to open up to you more, they're going to start to share more with you, they're going to start to say, wow, you're just a really fun person to be around. And to me, that trumps being a bad boy and being cool any day, because you're focusing on a longer term game. Being a bad boy is short lived. Eventually they're going to get in trouble. Eventually their bad boy shtick is going to wear out. It's not going to be cool anymore. It's not going to be funny anymore. But if you have a personality that your crush likes and connects with, that's long lasting. That's not something short lived at all. All right, so I want to jump into some more questions in here. Giselle Vega said, I did something stupid and now my crush's girlfriend knows I did something stupid and now my crush girlfriend know how I feel about her boyfriend. So your crush's girlfriend, okay, so your crush's girlfriend knows how you feel. Okay, all right, I get it now. Your crush's girlfriend knows how you feel about her boyfriend and you kind of want to fix that. Well, this is tough sometimes, right? Like, sometimes we let our feelings slip. Sometimes you tell the wrong person and gossip spreads. Sometimes you just say something. You have an outburst where you say something and now there's an awkward situation where, you know, your crush is looking at you. Everyone's looking at you. People are the attention is on you. Well, the best thing you could do is this. Number one, don't ever feel like you need to apologize for your feelings. There's cats fighting outside. If you feel that way about your crush, if you like them, if you have those feelings, don't ever feel like you need to say, oh, I don't really like you. Oh, it's not true. It's okay to stand by your feelings and to say, yeah, I do have a crush on you, but I respect that you're in a relationship and I'm not going to interfere. That's not who I am. That's totally respectable. And you're just being honest, right? I think it's better to just be honest if someone asks you or confronts you there than to go around it and lie and try to hide those things. Plus, I think being honest actually makes you more confident because it allows the person that you're speaking to know that you're being real with them. You're being 100. You know, you're not telling them what they want to hear. You're telling them what's the truth. And that's the most important thing. Okay, I want to move on to the third point here, guys. When we talk about building inner confidence, what I think you need to prioritize is changing your mindset around the idea of failure. When we talk about the risk of failure, like what's going to happen if you fail? What's going to happen if things don't go right? What's going to happen if you mess up? Well, any opportunity for failure is an opportunity to learn. And I think you have to recognize that those two are synonymous. Let's say there's someone that you like and you want to talk to. Well, yeah, there's a chance of failure. You might approach them. They might turn you down. They might laugh in your face. Yeah, a lot of things can happen. But if things don't go the way that you want them to, that's still a learning opportunity. That's still a chance to reflect. It's still a chance to look at what happened and to tell yourself, hey, you know what? What can I do differently? How can I change things around so that they work in my favor? How can I maybe start the conversation differently? How can I maybe make more jokes or be more flirty? And not just in dating. Let's say that you failed your test. Let's say that you're flunking class, you're not doing really well. In fact, I want to do a chat poll here and ask you guys this. I want to get your quick opinion on this. Have you ever felt like failure has defined you? Like because you failed at something, like that's who you are. People look at you as a failure. Oh, you failed this class. Oh, you got left back. Oh, you got rejected. That failure is defining of who you are. Have you ever felt that way before? I felt that way before. So if you have, you're not alone. Type yes or no in the chat. I want to know where you guys stand on this. But I mean, I felt like when I was flunking out of college and in my first semester, and I've talked to you guys about this before, but I felt like when I wasn't doing good in my first semester of college that, yeah, people are going to look at me like a failure. Oh, he couldn't cut it. Oh, he didn't have what it took, you know? And instead, I didn't look at it like it was like what for what it was, which was an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to change my path, to try something new, to explore new options. So I asked you guys, have you ever felt like failure has defined you in some kind of way? And here's what you guys had to say. Marco says yes. Ravage says nobody likes me. Ravage for Savage, I like you. I like you just the way you are. Chris says no. Ben says no. Yancey says yes. Jasmine says yes. Dono says no. Sonic says yes. Yelsha says yeah. Naja says no. I'm seeing a mix here of yeses and nos. Brady says yes. Isaac says yes. Brian says yes many times. Tall Man Dan says yeah. Yeah, man. Cheesy Boy says everyone loves me. Because Cheesy Boy, you're a lovable guy. I do not exist because I don't know says a lot. Harry says yes. Deidre or Emma says yes. Pencil says yes. Tall Man says yes. Phoenix says, I felt that way before, not now though. Yeah, guys. And just like the chat poll here says, if you have an experience with it that you want to share in the chat, feel free to, because what I've learned is that sometimes when you share your experience with other people, it makes it relatable to them. They might say, wow, I've been in that type of situation before. It's good to know that I'm not alone. So always feel free to share your perspective and your stories and your experiences in the chat here. Dono says, I failed trigonometry and physics. I felt like a failure then, but now high school doesn't matter. The real world does. Dono, I'm with you on that, man. I hear you on that. So many people put so much stock in high school grades, and oh my God, it's like school is a learning process. You're experimenting, you're learning, you're testing your ability. And I think as you get out of high school and you move forward into college or into the workforce or into pursuing your passion or whatever you choose to do, you start to see that the world operates a little differently than high school. But I think that point, guys, is an important one here. When we talk about failure being a learning opportunity, it's like life is all about either winning or learning, right? If things don't go your way, then it's important to look at those experiences and see what you can learn from them, right? So when we talk about building your inner confidence, that's going to be a key component here, because the moment you can tell yourself that my failure doesn't define me, you now will allow your confidence to flourish, because you're going to be more risky. You're going to take more chances. You're going to look for more opportunities. You're not going to back down as much, because you realize that, hey, if things don't work out, like, I'm okay with it. I can move forward and I'm okay with it. Sometimes we feel like the hardships we have, right? The thing that we're going through that's tough for us is never going to end. Like, this is the worst possible experience I can ever have in my life, and that's it. That's as far as you can see. And this happens a lot of times when people are dealing with depression or anxiety or nervousness or even failure. You feel like there's only a limitation to what you can see. Like, I can't even imagine a world where I'm happy. I can't even imagine a world where this is not a problem. But the truth of the matter is this, that you will get through it, because as long as you're breathing, as long as you're alive, going back to the first point I mentioned on gratitude, as long as you can wake up every single day and move forward and take a step and breathe, then you have an opportunity to change the world around you. And I think that sometimes we feel like our failure is the defining moments of our lives, but it isn't. It's the perseverance. It's the ability to get up and to keep moving forward. That's how winning is done, to quote Rocky. But I think it's important for you guys to remember that, because I think far too often we focus so much on our losses and we ignore that sometimes our losses end up being our biggest gains. Sometimes we really learn from those experiences and move forward. Now, I want to jump in and I want to see what some of you guys are saying here in the chat. Let's see. Tall Man Dan says, I always do bad in high school and people judge me for doing so bad. I hear you on that, Dan. Yeah, and I hope you can realize that people will always judge you. That's always going to be a constant thing in life. But people's judgments do not define you. They don't define how you perform. They don't define what you choose to do. At the end of the day, what matters most is how you pursue the path forward. Brian says, hey Josh, I have a crush on a girl. We're both in the 8th grade. How do I get to know her and vice versa? I'm also shy. Brian, that's a really good question. I have tons and tons of videos on getting to know someone better, especially when you're in middle school and you want to talk to them and you're both shy. One thing I'd recommend is this, Brian. I've put together my icebreaker conversation starters. Take a quick sip of water. So I put together this free guide, my 20 icebreaker conversation starters. And basically what this is this. These are 20 conversation topics that you can bring up, things that you can do when you run out of things to say, things you can do to learn a little bit more about that person. So I would recommend checking it out. All these links, by the way, are going to be in the description below in case you don't want to click off the stream and you want to check them out later. But download this free guide. It's a really good starter kit, I think, for starting a conversation with someone. And in just learning about a little bit about their hobbies, I think this is going to be the resource that you definitely should check out, especially if you're shy. So jumping back into it, see what else you guys are saying in here. JQQ says, I used to be such a confident person, but in the way that I was confident, I just didn't like it. So now I'm a shy, quiet kid. Yeah, man, I hear you on that. I think that, if you're shy now, right, and you weren't as shy when you were younger, a lot of times that shyness comes about because, we start to see other people succeeding and doing the things that they want, and we start to compare ourselves in some kind of way. We're afraid, like, oh, am I as good enough as them? Am I as smart enough? Am I as cool enough? And the moment you start to compare yourself, you start to feel shy. You're afraid that you don't bring enough to the table, that you're not lovable for who you are. And I want you guys to realize that's not true. Like, what you bring to the table is your own unique experience and value and life. There's no one else in this world that has the exact same life as you. You bring everything that you bring to the table. And, when it really comes down to building that inner confidence for massive success, recognizing that you, just being you, is enough. You don't need more. You don't need less. You just being you is enough, guys. So I want to jump in and see what else you guys are saying in here. Odano is talking about the membership thing, so I'll pull it up here. So, if you guys are interested in chatting with me every single month, one-on-one, having a video chat, becoming a patron over on Patreon or becoming a YouTube channel member are the best way to do that. These are some of the perks that you get from becoming a patron or a channel member. One-on-one monthly video chats. We do group chats. I shout you out of my videos. Plus, you get to use these cool emojis that Dono created. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/thejoshspeaks or click the join button below. That's going to be right next to the little chat icon there. If you click the little gray. I'm sorry, that's a super chat. If you click the little right next to where the subscribe button is, there'll be a join button there. You can join, you can see what the perks are, and you can choose to join at whatever level you want, and you'll get access to use these cool emojis. So I want to jump into the fourth point here, right? I did the third point already, I think. Yeah, I did the third point. Let's jump into point number 4 here. Point number 4 is going to be to always prioritize your well-being. This is something I can't stress enough, guys. Definitely. Donald says join the Discord to get more emojis. Absolutely. We have tons and tons of emojis in the Discord. I'll share the Discord link in a second here. But when we talk about prioritizing your well-being, guys, I think that it's so crucial to think about little changes that you can make that would have a huge impact. So one example of that might be getting more sleep. A lot of times you might stay up late at night, you might not sleep a long time, and that might make you tired or groggy or grumpy, and that can affect how you kind of go forward in the day. You may not feel like you have the energy or the time or the patience to deal with people, and all that might be rooted down in your sleep. Another place where you can prioritize your well-being is in eating. A lot of times people skip meals, they eat junk, they just eat potato chips or, junk food and stuff, and they're not eating good quality, healthy food that's going to help them feel nourished, help them feel energized, help them feel alive in some kind of sense. So start to think about where are small areas that you can make those changes. I want to jump in and ask you guys here, I want to get your opinion on something, guys. Sorry. We'll do a chat poll. Even though it's not necessarily a yes or no question, but I'm curious, guys, where are some areas in your life that you feel you prioritize your well-being? So is it in sleep? Is it in what you eat? Is it in how often you're on the phone and on the computer? Do you spend all day on your phone texting and you just see a bright light all day in your face? Where do you prioritize well-being in your own life? For myself, one thing I really try to focus on is getting a good amount of sleep. Whether it's 8 hours or 7 hours, I always try to get that amount. I try to eat healthy foods. So try to not really eat a lot of junk food, not really just focus on that. I try to make sure I'm eating vegetables, make sure I'm eating grains, make sure I'm eating greens, all these different kinds of things. Another thing too is that one thing I need to work better on is spending less time in front of a screen on the computer. I want to give my eyes a rest from time to time, and that's something I definitely want to work on. So I asked you guys here, I'm curious to know where you guys prioritize when it comes to your well-being. Drew says sleep, definitely. Nigel says sleeping as well. Ravage says, I just no life Discord. On Discord all day long. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. Dono says, I spend too much on social media, especially Discord. I hear you on that, Dono. Dono, I am grateful for all that you do, but I do think it's also important to prioritize your health and well-being, man. So that might mean taking a step off Discord from time to time. But I hear you on that. Marco says, in sleep or food. Rabbit says, I mean, no life. Well, how much is no life? How much are you talking here, man? Marco says, and also phones and grades. Brady says, sleep and food. JQQ says, nothing really. I feel like I focus on trying to be well-rounded too much that I don't even know. I hear you on that. That's fair. Emma says, my planner being, your plan is to be responsible and sleep more. Absolutely. I think sleep is something people tend to overlook a lot. Games and Review says Instagram. Yep, people spend a lot of time on Instagram as well, guys. So I'm going to pull it back here. But yeah, and that's why I said prioritizing your well-being is going to help boost your confidence, because you're going to have more energy to operate throughout the day. You're going to be less crabby. You might run into situations where, like I said, if you don't eat and you don't sleep, you might just not want to, you might not then feel like, oh, I'm not going to worry about talking to my crush. Oh, I'm not going to worry about studying for this test. You tend to let other areas of your life fall once you stop taking care of yourself. Yancey says, we need sleep. We can't stay up all night, right? Yep, Yancey. They haven't quite figured out how to go without sleep yet, so you're going to need sleep. Drop some water. Rage says, compare myself to others, copy people's life. I hear you on that, Rage. Yeah, a lot of people do that too. They compare themselves to others because they think other people have it all figured out. Oh, they're succeeding. They know what they want. And who am I? I'm nobody compared to them. But like I said before, every single person has their own unique story and experience that they bring to the table that no one else can replicate. So it's important to remember that. It's important to remember that what you bring to the table is your unique experience, and that if you're going to allow jealousy or envy to kind of lead you in life, you're always going to be chasing. You're never going to feel content. And I think it's far more important to focus on being content with what you have and who you are than it is to focus chasing other people, because other people always change and you're always going to be in that rat race. I want to see what some more of the things you guys are saying here in the chat. By the way, if you're finding this live stream helpful, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. I truly, truly appreciate it, guys. Let's see. Jasmine says, I go on social media too much. I hear you on that, Jasmine. Yeah, sometimes social media can be addictive. In fact, one thing I'm planning on doing is I'm going to do a few different videos on how to curb your addictions. That's addiction to social media. That's addiction to things like Fortnite, video games. That's addiction to like porn and stuff like that. Things that people tend to get so focused on that they want to cut out of their lives or even just limit. I'm going to try to do more videos on that. So Jasmine, I got you covered on that. But social media is a real addiction that a lot of people struggle with. Rise says, honestly though, bro, your advice made me talk to a girl I thought I would never talk to, and now we're dating. Respect, bro. Dude, all the respect goes to you, man. I think deep down inside you had that confidence, and maybe the most important thing was to just hear that, you know, it's possible for you to approach someone, and it's possible that things will work out. You know, sometimes that happens, and it happens just like you want it to. And in your case, I'm happy that it did. Yeah, Rage says, what's even worse, we compare ourselves to others. Absolutely, Rage. We compare ourselves to others a lot. It's a real issue a lot of people have. Advanced Gamer says, hey Josh, so I have my crush's number because we had a class together and we all changed numbers, but we never texted each other. Now we're in the same class. How can I start chatting with her? Yeah. So if you guys are in the same class now, I think that you now have the opportunity to start talking to approach her there in person. And that in-person approach is going to go way further than just texting her and trying to build up a friendship or relationship there. Sorry. So I think that I made a video in the past, which you definitely should check out, how to talk to your crush in class. That video is going to kind of walk you through how to go about doing that. I think that's the video that I really think you need to watch, because it's going to break it down even further. So I want to jump into point number 5 here, but we are definitely going to do this because this is the thing. The Instagram after party, guys. You guys know all about it. Some of you do, some of you don't, but right after this live stream, right, which I'm going to end at around 6:30, right after this live stream, I'm going to jump over on Instagram for the after party. Now, I call it an after party because once the stream ends, we're going to keep it going, guys. We're going to keep talking, keep chatting. What I do is over on Instagram, just go follow me over on Instagram at the Josh Speaks, and I bring you guys onto video chat. It's pretty laid back, pretty cool. All you guys are invited there, so come party with us. Request a video chat, and I'll bring you on, and we'll be able to talk there. So if you're someone that doesn't want to do a private one-on-one video chat through Patreon, but you're okay with a group video chat like on Instagram, come follow me over on Instagram. Join the Instagram after party, guys. It'll be a lot of fun. Austin says, you should make some videos on how to get a job. I'm 15, almost 16. I should probably try to get a job soon. Yeah, Austin, I think that's a really great idea. I definitely want to do videos on how to prepare for a job, how to get your resume in order, where to apply, what are some types of things you can look for. Because a lot of times when people are your age, 15, 16, and looking for a job, they don't really know where to start or where to look or what to do. So there are a few simple things I'm going to put together. So preparing for jobs, dealing with addiction, these are definitely things I want to cover in 2020, guys. I am going to put up I'm going to post on my YouTube community tab either tomorrow or so, or maybe Saturday, asking you guys, what are some topics you really want me to cover this year? You know, I've talked a lot about crushes and dating, but what are some other areas of your life that you feel that you need to work on building your confidence in, or you feel like you need a little bit of push? And, you know, my videos can probably be helpful in that sense. I'd be curious to know what you guys have to say. Wolf Dog Wrestling says, I need confidence to make new friends because I only have 3 now and only really see 2 of them, and then them 2 aren't friends. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. It's tough sometimes making friends. It's not always easy. Sometimes you have just a few friends and you want to make more, but you don't really know where to start or where to meet them or how to start the conversation. A lot of times, I would say if you're in school, if you're in class, one of the easiest ways to try to make friends is to just turn to your sides and talk to the kids that are in your class, because they're going through the same experiences you are. They're taking classes, they're dealing with the same homework, same test, same teacher, and that might be the bonding experience that you need. Even if they're just your friend for that class, for the amount of time that class or semester or however long it lasts, it's still a good way to kind of prepare yourself to start making new friends. Dono says, how to survive an interview with social anxiety. Yeah, Dono, I hear you on that. You know, some people are terrified of interviews. And for myself, it took me a while to get past the fear of the interview. Like, oh my God, they're judging me, they're looking at me, what if I'm not good enough? To get past that. And I'll just say quickly here, but I'm going to go more in depth in the video that I put together on that. What I learned from getting over the fear of interviews is that we always think that the people on the other side, they're there to judge us. But really what they're looking for is they're looking for someone that fits into their company, fits into that role, fits into their community, fits into their, livelihood at work. Being on the other side too, where I've interviewed people at jobs and stuff, it's like, I'm looking to see, is this person passionate? Is this person fun to talk to? Are they someone that I can get along with? Are they someone that can probably learn quickly? And I think the moment you start to let those qualities shine, rather than like, oh my God, did I shake hands firmly enough? And is my suit pressed enough? The moment you start to focus less on that, you focus more on the personal side of it, the easier that interview process is going to be. But I'm going to break that down more in the video. I want to jump into point number 5 here. Because I think that this is also a super, super important one, guys. When we talk about building the inner confidence, this is going to be key. And that is a quote from Miss Frizzle herself from the Magic School Bus. Take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. This is going to be the underlying theme to building your inner confidence, guys, because this is why. If you're not willing to take chances, if you're not willing to deal with whatever comes your way and just throw caution into the wind and try, then you're never going to succeed. The only way that you can build your confidence is by pushing your boundaries and stepping outside of your comfort zone. If you're too afraid to do that, if you're not ready to do that, then building your confidence is going to be tough. It's really going to require you guys stepping up and realizing that you have what it takes to be somebody great. And yes, the world may not see that in the beginning, but you're going to show the world that that's what you offer. Now, get messy, Marvin Gaye, let's get it on. That's one way to look at it. But, I think that idea of just really putting yourself out there is going to be what you need to learn, right? Like you need to learn through that experience. A lot of times people may watch YouTube videos or just become information junkies where it's like, I'm just going to consume until I feel ready. And a lot of times you do have to kind of take one step outside of the door, because until you do, you're always going to be held in a position where you're never going to feel like you're quite ready. And for most things in life, for most situations where it came to building confidence or feeling comfortable with who I am, I really had to kind of just jump into those situations. I had to practice it in order to learn it. And I think you guys will have to do the same. When we talk about massive success, that's going to be the key component to it. I want to jump in and see what some of you guys are saying here in the chat here, because I think that there's a few conversations going on here. Anthony says, I'm a person that thrives under pressure for some reason. Yep. Some people really do thrive under pressure. They enjoy challenges. They enjoy taking chances. And I think that that's it's a great quality to have. Not everyone has that quality. Some people are more reserved. Some people are more nervous, and that's okay too. But I think that you have to remember that everything is small steps. So a small step for you might be an easy step for someone else, but that small step is still what you should focus on, right? That might be making eye contact with someone. That might be asking someone for an interview. That might be a million other things. But your small step is never going to be comparable to someone else's. They're in their own journey, on their own path. So focus on your small steps when it comes to building that confidence. Rage Master says, speaking of interview, he should do more video people who are 18 and over, like how to talk to your crush not only in middle school, high school, but in college and the workforce. Yeah, definitely, Rage Master. I think that I am going to be shifting my focus in terms of the things I talk about to an older crowd. I think college and then above, and also high school as well. But I feel like I've covered a lot of the topics that I've wanted to cover in younger ages, and I want to start helping people that are also in those older ages, maybe 16 to 24, like that age group. But that's basically what I want to focus on. Now, when we talked before also about surrounding yourself with people that care about you guys, this is where I think Discord comes in. So we have our own Discord community. Dono's a part of it. Anthony's a part of it. And in this community, guys, it's a great place, I think, to make friends, to share ideas, to talk to people who are like-minded as well. What I love about our Discord community is that we all center around the same goal. And the goal is to be our best selves, figuring out what that means. What does it mean to carry forward in this world and pursue the things that you want, but in a way that's kind towards other people and compassionate and caring and understanding? It's something that I think that we embody on our Discord channel. So if you're looking for a community, if you're looking for people that you want to get to know better, if you're someone that maybe has a hard time making friends, this is a great place to join, guys. It's a great place to be a part of a community that cares. And I'm just proud of the people on there. I'm proud of the people that are helpful in there. So thank you guys for being a part of it as well, and I hope more of you come on board. I'd love to have more of you guys on there. So we have about 10 minutes left on this stream here. I want to jump in and answer some more questions, guys. I want to see what some of you guys are saying here, and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up, and we will get to one of my favorite parts, which is the meditation bell. So jumping in here, see if you guys have questions on what we've talked about, building up your inner confidence, things like that, situations you're in where you don't feel confident. Let's talk. Let's have that dialogue. Let's see. Red Chief says, what can I do if I started liking a girl after leaving town for college? Sorry. And we never talked throughout high school. I have her on Facebook, and I will be attending the same college in fall. Okay, so you liked a girl, but you never really talked to her in high school, and now you're going to college? Well, skipping over your question, Drew. All right, I'll scroll back up and get to your question, Drew. I must have overlooked it. I think that you're actually in a good position, because if you went to high school with her and you're both going to the same college, but you never talked to her, now the fact that you're in a new location, in a new environment, kind of gives you an advantage, because if you do approach her, you might say, hey, you look familiar. I remember seeing you in high school. How come we didn't talk? We definitely should be friends now. So you can kind of lead in with that conversation. And I think the best thing is to talk to her in person, not on Facebook. But if you see her around campus, if she's in any of your classes, that's the perfect kind of segue in. You can always just say, wow, like, how come we weren't friends? Like, now we're in school together. Let's get to know each other. So I would start with that, and I would lead in with that type of conversation. Chroma YT says, this girl rejected me last night. What do I do? Yeah, look, getting rejected sucks. I hear you on that. I know where you're coming from. I think that if you got rejected, though, the best thing for you to do is to kind of reflect and look back at that experience and ask yourself the simple question: what could I do differently next time? What did I maybe do wrong this time? Did I say something or did I do something that maybe pulled her away or made her lose interest there? I think asking those deeper questions is going to allow you to prepare for the next relationship you're going to potentially get into. So Drew Orr says, stop skipping over my question. Let's find his question. Here we go. Drew says, hey, Josh. By the way, I wasn't skipping over your question, Drew. The chat just kind of went up. Hey, Josh, my crush from school seems to like me, but she gives me mixed signals. We're both sophomores in college. I get nervous every time I get the chance to talk to her. What can I do differently? Okay, so your crush seems to like you, but she's giving you mixed signals. You're both sophomores in college. You get nervous every time you get the chance to talk to her. So what can you do differently? Well, if you see her regularly enough and you get nervous. Oh, I keep yawning. Sorry. You get nervous every time you talk to her. You're going to want to start small. So going back to what I was talking about with the icebreaker conversation starters, that free guide that I had, I think that using something like that is going to be a good way to kind of jump start into the conversation with her. It's going to be a good way to kind of to allow you to sorry, I'm just checking the analytics here. It's going to be a good way to allow you to work your way up towards getting to know her better. A lot of times people think that, okay, well, I like this person. I should be able to just instantly talk to them and feel comfortable, but that's not always the case. A lot of times there is nervousness there. A lot of times you don't know what to talk about. You don't know how to start a conversation, or you don't find the right opportunity. So the best way to kind of change that is to change your perspective as to what you're trying to accomplish when you talk to them. Instead of telling yourself, I want to walk up to her and I want her to like be really into the conversation with me, you might just want to focus on asking her one or two questions. Hey, let me get your opinion on something. Me and my friends are having a debate. I'm curious to know what you think. Ask her that question, and then you kind of move on and talk to other people, go and do other things. But what you're doing is you're laying the groundwork for being more comfortable talking to her here and there. And once you start to do that regularly, then she's going to be comfortable sharing things with you too. So that's the way I think you should approach it. Let's see. Brady Albert says, what should I do? What should I do when I'm afraid of my crush's friends laughing at me when I ask my crush out? Yeah, Brady, this is what we talk about inner confidence. That, if you're afraid that your crush's friends are going to laugh at you, that they're going to look down on you, they're not going to see you as good enough to go out with your crush, you have to remember that while the friends play an important role in her life, keep yawning. Let's take another sip. While her friends play a very important role in her life, I think that one thing that you should really remember is that in order for her to feel like you're someone that she wants to date, she has to see that you're comfortable around her friends. If she sees that you're not comfortable around her friends, that you're awkward around her friends, that you're nervous around her friends, well, then she's going to say, well, if he's not comfortable with my friends, why would why would I want to talk to him? Why would I want to get to know him better? So there is that whole component to it. So I think that the way to get over that discomfort around her friends is when you approach them or you try to talk to them, try to get to know the friends as well. Try to get to know the friends just as much as you get to know your crush. Because if you start talking to her friends and they start to learn a little bit more about you, then when you start talking to your crush, they're only going to have good things to say. They're going to say, oh, he's a pretty cool guy. Oh, he's fun to talk to. Oh, he's nice. They're going to be on your side once you've taken time to get to know them. But if you walk in siloed and only focus on your crush, well, then the friends are going to be sitting there judging you. And that's not really the environment you want to create. All right, let's see what some more of you guys are saying here. Marco says, hey, Josh, did you read my question? Marco, did I read your question? Did I miss it? How should I help her? Okay, here we go. Hey, Josh, I have a friend who is a girl and she's a lesbian, and I want to help her because she's scared to tell her dad. And not only that, that's a problem. She's also dealing with her horrible past and has anger issues. How should I help her? So, yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, coming out to your parent is scary sometimes, and it's scary for a lot of people because, it's a moment where you want to be vulnerable and honest and open, but you're afraid that your parent is not going to understand that they're going to be so much more focused on their own feelings that they're not going to take you into account, right? Coming out is a very honest experience, right? You're telling someone how you feel and how you view life and how like what you want, right? And to share that with someone, there's always a fear that they may accept it or they may not. And the fear of them not accepting it sometimes is really hard for people to bear. So what's the best thing to do? Well, I think what's important is this. It's that there's definitely lots of videos, I think, on YouTube that help with the things that you want to say, the specific things you want to say, how you want to talk about it with your parents. I would definitely look that up. It's not something I'm as well versed in, but I definitely think there's a lot of resources there that talk about how to come out. And I think for you as her friend, the best thing you can do is to let her know that no matter what happens, if she tells her dad and he flips out or gets angry at her, no matter what happens, that you're there for her, you're by her side, and you'll be there to help her no matter what. Sometimes knowing that we have someone in our corner when we're about to do something vulnerable can make all the difference in the world. It can make us feel like we're not alone. And I think that for her, in order for her to not feel alone, it's important to have as many supportive friends as possible. Now, when it comes to dealing with anger issues and things like that, I've done a few videos on dealing with anger, and I think the way to cool those flames is to practice mindfulness. And the way to practice mindfulness is that when you start to feel angry, when you start to feel overwhelmed by your anger, instead of lashing out, try to focus on pulling it in and calming it, right? If you were to kind of just stop for a second, close your eyes, take a breath, and let's say she were to do that for 20 seconds, that anger would start to settle, and it'll stop being so prevalent right at the surface where she wants to yell, and it'll be easier for her to approach a situation without that sense of anger. Let's see. I'm going to answer one or two more questions, and then I'm going to jump into my final thoughts here, guys. Donna says... Donna's responding to someone else. Red Chief says, in my situation with the girl who's out of town for college, would it be a smart move to DM her before I attend, asking information about the campus, letting her know that I plan to transfer there? Oh, so maybe I misread it before. I thought you guys were both going into college. If she's already at the college, then I think, then it's okay probably to message her and ask her those questions, to tell her, hey, listen, when I get to college, you mind if we meet up and stuff? So just so I can learn a little bit more about the campus, learn a little bit more about college life. That might be a good way to kind of lead into that conversation with her. Drew Orr says, just want to, I used the icebreaker conversations before and they did work pretty good. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, Drew, I'm happy they were helpful. I'm working on other guides as well, other resources for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But the icebreakers is kind of the first one that I put together because I wanted to see if, it could be helpful for people. So I want to jump into my final thoughts here, and then we're going to do our ending meditation here. But what I want to say is this, guys. I think that when we talk about building inner confidence that leads to massive success, success is different for everyone. And it's important to not measure your success to someone else's, to realize that building your inner confidence is going to require you to take chances, to push yourself a little, to try something new. And it's important to be surrounded by people that care about you, people that want to see you succeed. Because the most confident people in this world know that if things don't go right, that they're still lovable for who they are, right? That doesn't disappear. And that's a marker of real confidence. Knowing that, hey, I might mess up, I might not do well, I might blow the whole situation, but I can learn from it. I can still grow. I'm alive, I'm here, I can move forward. And that's what I really want you guys to really take home from this. So from there, I want to jump into the meditation moment, the mindful moment, guys, here. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I have my meditation bell. Let me grab my meditation bell. I have my meditation bell. And what I do with this is I want us to take 10 seconds, guys, just 10 seconds to think about what we talked about here on the stream. Think about what you heard. Think about what you can do differently in your day-to-day life, how you can approach situations differently, how you can try something new, how you can grow as a person and really put your confidence out on display. So we're going to hit the bell, and we are going to close our eyes and think for 10 seconds about how we can do that, guys. 10 seconds. Thank you, each and every single one of you, for jumping on this live stream. I really appreciate having you guys here, and I hope that the information we talked about was helpful. Once the stream goes up, I'll have videos linked over there. Oh, this way. Yes, videos linked over there that you can definitely check out. That'll also be helpful along with this. And we're about to jump over on Instagram, so join me for the Instagram after party. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream and dealing with the whole technical issues in the beginning. We got here. Hopefully you learned something from this, and I will talk to you guys soon. As always, love and peace. See you guys next time.